Hello, welcome back to another edition of Fridays with Burkholder Wealth Management.
Good morning, good morning.
I'm Joseph Hanson. I'm one of the senior advisors here at Burkholder Wealth Management.
I'm Gabe West, associate advisor, and the founder, Eric Burkholder, he's on vacation. He's gone, so his house is empty.
That's true.
Other than the Olympics are on. They started. I think the ceremony is still going on. We were going to talk about spending money.
At the Olympics?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's
well,
not
just
true.
anywhere, spending money. So yeah, tell us what kind of our thought process on spending money.
On spending money. So we believe that spending money should maximize satisfaction throughout your lifetime. Gabe wrote a blog article not too long ago where he developed this idea of the happiness curve.
Joseph decided it would be better the satisfaction curve, which I could agree. Satisfaction curve.
Yeah, I mean, my reasoning on that, I guess, is just that, I think happiness, as we all know, as our parents taught us growing up, money doesn't buy us happiness, right? So it's about, for us, it's part of the planning process of helping you maximize each dollar and trying to fulfill your plans, what it is that you are wanting to achieve, your goals.
Yeah, my initial thought of writing the blog was, good financial advice. Everyone is going to tell you it's pretty easy to say to save. Like your plans are going to look better if you just save and invest more. But I think it takes a really sharp, good advisor that says, hey, you can spend this much. You may need to spend more. You don't have to save this much to accomplish, the goals you're looking for. And so that kind of led me into, utilizing every dollar for satisfaction. That's really our life's goal in terms of, financial planning, not just amass, a lot of money.
Right.
And with that, the challenges of a lot of generic financial planning advice, don't buy a new car, those kind of frugal tips.
Dave Ramsey.
A little bit of Dave Ramsey, but that aren't necessarily bad, but why or what is the motivation and the psychology behind why we need to be frugal in some areas and, maybe not in some.
Right. And although the generic advice is good advice, it doesn't take into account each person's particular situation. It's a one-size-fits-all. If you ever hear Dave Ramsey talk, somebody calls in, they might have some idea of what they want to do with their money and their situation. He says, no, that's not smart because, I've done this study of millionaires and all of them did this. And it's like, well, I guess, but that's not really, there may be a reason why they're millionaires. It may not be because they did these things. It may be because they're millionaires that they did those things, not that they did those things so they became millionaires. So we've got to look at everybody's situation specifically to determine what is their goals, how do they relate to money, what is it that gets them satisfaction from their money in spending and in their lifetime, whether it's giving, whether it's some people want to buy that new car because it gives them some status that they're looking for with their money. Whether that's right or wrong, that's not for me to say, but
yeah, I think you hit it right on of saying it's everyone's relation to money. I know some friends who are really, really into cars. That's their thing, that's their hobby, that's what they love to do. And spending a little extra to get a new car or get that version of that car that really, really brings them satisfaction. I think it would be incorrect advice to say to someone who really, really derives pleasure from something as machinery and automobiles. If you're a car person, you kind of understand that. I don't think that's necessarily bad advice to save up a little bit more to purchase something like that. But for someone who doesn't know the difference from a Ford or a Chevy and they just drive whatever, then maybe get the cheapest option or the most reliable option, something that's, to them, because you're looking at the satisfaction of the car and it has that,
right. I think really the way to sum it up is our goal. I mean, Dave Ramsey's goal may be generically, his goal may be for you to retire with millions of dollars in the bank. Okay, our goal as financial planners is not for you to retire with $8 million in the bank. That's great. That's a great goal to have. But if it's at the expense of enjoying life, if you are basically being so frugal, so miserly with your money that it's become a god on the other extreme, that's not a healthy relationship either.
Yeah.
And so we want to help encourage balance, encourage a right relationship with your money, a healthy relationship with your money. And so part of that is figuring out how is it that you relate to money, and how can we help you make the financial decisions to reach your goals. And I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Breaking it down, what I wrote in the blog a little bit, I kind of get, analytical with it and saying, for every dollar that you spend, there's, an arbitrary satisfaction number. And so when you're looking at utilizing your dollars, you should almost look at it in what's really going to, what's the best satisfaction per dollar that I can spend. And so there's different purchases in terms of, so that for that car example, to someone, a lower car doesn't give them a lot of satisfaction, but upping that dollar amount and getting the really nice one will up their satisfaction. One that I also can think of is grocery shopping. Bread for most of us is going to have the same amount of satisfaction. This bread versus that bread doesn't give any difference in satisfaction, really. Some of the crazy bread people out there may disagree.
Or salt, pepper, ketchup,
just
mustard.
basic groceries. And so when you kind of look at it that way, then you need to reduce that dollar amount.
Right.
Because that makes that satisfaction per dollar, a higher ratio purchase. And so
Gabe and I, obviously here at the office, we're big fans of Aldi.
Really like Aldi.
We just think that the what you can buy, especially there's fungible goods that are basically interchangeable, like that salt and pepper, ketchup, mustard, vinegar. Just your normal basic staple items that from one brand to the next really doesn't matter, but the cost is very different from Heinz to Berman's Aldi brand. And you can even go to places like a Target who has its own house brand, but yet it's more expensive than even some of the...
A little bit more higher priced,
even more than some of the name brand stuff. So just being smart with our money when it comes to just those everyday purchases.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. I think I wrote a blog that got posted a while back just about even buying clothes for my children. When I'm buying clothes for my children, I know that they're going to be growing very quickly, that they're going to be moving into a new size very quickly, and so I'm not going to go spend a bunch of money for them to buy Nike tennis shoes when I know they're only going to wear those for 3 months before they need a new pair, right? So I'm going to either go to buy used or buy at Walmart or whatever it is where I can get basically the best bang for my dollar, and that's...
That sparked a memory in my head. I remember being probably 10. My mom could tell the story better. I really just wanted a pair of basketball shoes. They weren't Nikes. They weren't Jordan. They were really, really... I can see them now. They were probably so ugly. And I think my mom got them 2 sizes up so I could just keep them for longer. And I absolutely loved them. And so... if your kid really is, I'm not a parent, but I mean, if that's something that they really, really like, then maybe that $5 extra to see their face light up is worth it too. So again, it's that relationship and balance per each purchase. It's going to be different every single time, and I think it's a good challenge of why we like what we like, or how we're how we view every single purchase. Like, why are we doing this? And I think that's a good exercise every time we kind of spend money.
Right, and I think that comes back to the importance of having a financial advisor, and the importance of having somebody to hold you accountable, to help you develop that plan, hold you accountable to that plan, and then meet those goals.
Yes.
And have set goals, have set savings goals, figure out, even for some people need a budget. Yeah. Some people don't like budgets, and that's fine. But having somebody there to help you just develop that plan and figure out you know,
yeah,
how to achieve your goals.
And I think too, a financial advisor can look at kind of the long term. It's hard for an advisor to, discuss with you what kind of shoes you should get for your child, but maybe in the long term, whether you're young or old, how to maximize kind of the satisfaction over the lifetime. That's something I wrote in the blog as well, that you kind of want to have this maximum area under the curve of your entire life of kind of satisfaction per dollar. You don't want to save so much in your early years that you kind of were miserable, and you also don't want to have so much money in the bank when you're old, and vice versa. You don't want to spend like crazy in your 20s and 30s and then have nothing left for retirement. And so a financial advisor can kind of tweak and make that time horizon
balance that out a little bit.
Yeah. And I think that's an appropriate way to look at how you handle money just over the course of a lifetime, course of individual purchases. What is that satisfaction per dollar over the course of a lifetime? I think that's how you should really view some spending. That was my take on it. And again, everyone's a little bit different. Everyone has different relationships to money, and I think it's just a good way to boil it down.
Yeah. So if you would like to work with a financial advisor, or if you don't have a financial advisor, or you don't have a financial advisor that thinks in this way, feel free to call us. We'd love to sit down and visit with you and discuss your specific plans and goals and help you get on track to maximize your satisfaction.
And also your challenge, I made this challenge, just try to name one good purchase that you really like. It could just be going out, eating with friends. Does that give you the highest satisfaction per dollar? And then also try to think of a low satisfaction, one that doesn't give you very much satisfaction at all, and it's also very pricey. So what is a good purchase versus a bad purchase? And I think get back with us. We'd like to hear your thoughts. But I think we're going to get back to watching the Olympics, working hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. Enjoy it. Grill some burgers, some brats. Crack open a beer. Mow the lawn. Get it done.
See you guys.
See you guys.